We'll get started. All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I am so excited for this Zoom tonight. So tonight I'm going to be interviewing Ashley Wilkins. Ashley went diamond in February, and you guys, she joined me in late September, right, Ashley? It was like late September that you joined. And, you know, at first she wasn't, and I'll let her tell her story, but at first when she started, she wasn't totally ready to go completely all in yet. But then a switch kind of flipped in her. And in January, she was just like, okay, like I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this. Or it might have even been a little earlier than that. And literally, you guys, she started 2020 distributor level, and in January, and then by the end of February, she was a diamond. And now here we are in March. It hasn't even been 90 days, and she's enrolled over 100 customers just since January. And she said something to me. I was asking her, just like, girl, you're like, just telling her how amazing she is, and just kind of asking her and telling her that I wanted her to share. And she was like, I just keep it so stupid simple that I can't fail. And I remember hearing that and just being like, that was such an aha moment for me to hear her say that. She's like, I just keep it so simple, I can't fail. And I was like, that is such wisdom right there. Like in that one sentence, there's so much wisdom, because how much do we overcomplicate the process, and we kind of set ourselves up for failure because we just overthink things. And so I love that she just keeps it simple. So she's going to give us all the goods. We don't want to hear from me too much. We want to jump right into hearing from Ashley. So I am going to put it over to Ashley. Ashley, why don't you start out by just introducing yourself, telling us a little bit about what was your life like before finding this, tell us about how you found this, how you got started, and then just what it's like now that you're doing this.
Okay, first off, my nerves are like out of control, but it's fine. It's fine. I woke up sweating this morning, not even gonna lie. So a little bit about me. I've been a nurse for 7 years now. No, like 5 years now. And I was going back to school, and early last year, around January, my husband was looking for something else to do. He was a paramedic, and he was getting his degree, and he ended up applying for some federal positions. And so randomly, like 2 weeks before they wanted him to come, they were like, hey, you got the job, but you also got to leave your family for 10 months. He was like, okay, in 2 weeks. And so he left, and so we were paying 2 different mortgages, 2 different phone bills, or 2 different like light bills, all the things. And so I wasn't working that much because I was going back to get my bachelor's, and we had our daughter. She was 2 at the time. She's 3 now. And it just got so financially hard on us. Like, we had to sell his brand new Jeep that he had almost had paid off. We were getting credit cards and maxing them out. And so I just kept thinking, you know, even after I'm done with school in December, we're still going to be broke. Like, I need something. So I kept looking, and all summer I was looking at things like, should I open my own boutique? No, that costs a lot of money. Can't do that. I was thinking of all these things, and I just couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And then around, it was September, I came across Claire's page, and I could not tell you how. I'd never followed her before. I really don't know how I found her. But I was looking at her page, and I was like, what does this girl do? Because she's making a lot of money, but I don't know what she's doing. So I reached out to her, and I was like, hey, girl, what are you doing? I think it's like midnight or 1 a.m. She texted me back or messaged me back the next morning and told me, I was like, fine, sign me up, because whatever you're doing is clearly working. I've got to do it too. So I got started, but like she said, it was slow. I wasn't really sure. She had great advice, and she gave me everything I needed, more than I needed. She's wonderful, but I just, with school and my daughter and my husband, and I just wasn't ready to like sit down and like apply it. And so it took me until I think the day before, or the very last day, to get my 4 customers all in one, because at the time it was 4 LCs, not 6. But I think the last day Claire was like, okay, to get your 150, we've got to get, you got to get your 4 customers. I was like, okay, fine. Grandma, mom, and like 2 friends. So I like hurried up and figured it out. And then it went slow again, back to school, just life. And I was posting every single day, but I wasn't like applying it. But anyways, so back to like how it is now. It's wonderful. I've applied, like she said, and are we going to get more into detail? Like, okay. Once I got out here with my husband and I was like, okay, I want to change. That's why I got in here. I'm going to do it. And I haven't turned back. Like, I just work. It's work. So I just work. And here we are. And it's been amazing. I still have to make sacrifices. Like sometimes I can't always go to the park with my family, but at least I'm not gone 3 or 4 days of the week for 12, 13 hours a day. I can take little breaks or, whatever. And it has been amazing for us.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about when that switch flipped for you, because there might be some people on here or watching the recording that say like, okay, well, my business is going slower than I want it to, but I look at the success that you're now having. Like, how do I get from here to there? How do I get from A to B? How do I get from going kind of slowly, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, to boom, 4 promotions in 2 months?
So I actually remember me and another girl on the team were talking about my girl Jenna, how she had rolled so many when she first started. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I'm posting every single day. I'm actually spending too much time on making my posts super cute. But I didn't know, I couldn't put my finger on it. And then at the end of, or it was middle of December, end of December, right around Christmas, we were giving away $500. And I watched like a host to post video. I think it was like 3 minutes that Claire has on YouTube. And I was like, you know what? Let's just try out this host to post thing. We're just going to do it. So I posted about the giveaway. It was an interaction post. I saw that most people were getting a lot more interactions, the people I was following, if they posted something like, does pineapples go on pizza? Yes or no? Answer to enter in the giveaway. That would blow up. So I was like, okay, let's do something like that. And I think I copied what Claire was doing at the time. And it got a lot of attention. And I think within a couple of days, I signed up like 6 people within like 2 days. And I was like, wow, like this works. And I haven't even posted on my Facebook like yet. So, I mean, it clearly works. So since then, I just haven't stopped doing host to post, and it just comes in.
Okay, so we're going to dive a little bit into what your host to post looks like. So again, going back to what I said at the beginning, where you said, I just keep things so simple, I can't fail. What does that look like? How are you keeping things so simple? And you do host to post for one product, right? Like you found your product and you just stick with it. And I think that's one thing that I really wanted you to share tonight, because I think a lot of times it's easy in this business to get like squirrel syndrome, where we're like, oh, look at what she's doing. Okay, look at what she's doing. Okay, look at what she's doing. But we have to go back to what works for us and stick with it, because that's where the success is. So, okay, tell us about those simple things that you do every single day, how you do your host to post, and what keeps you enrolling. Because one more thing, and then I'm gonna let you talk, but another thing that you've said to me in the past is you've said things like, okay, I need about 6 customers in order to hit my promotion. I know I can do that. And that kind of confidence is rare. So what is your method that you're so confident that what you do works and you get results?
So, like she said, I stick to one product. So I know there's a lot of, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm not trying to tell everybody they need to do this, but I will be straight honest. I have never sold, Skinny Brew. I've never sold hair, skin, and nails. I've never sold one beauty product. I haven't even asked or told anybody about it. Literally, I think people think I only sell thumbnail fight, because I do. I do upsell every once in a while. If they're like, oh, girl, I just need to lose more than 30. I need like 50. So I will, I will, tell them about like the triple, the coffee and the greens, but it has the thermophyte in it. So I got sidetracked, squirrel. What was I saying? Oh yeah, one product. I don't even post in my stories about any other product. I just keep it so simple, because if I start putting up post to post about anything other than thermophyte is mine. It don't have to be thermophyte. I know one of my other girls, Claire, does hair, skin, and nails. Jenna does hair, skin, and nails. But thermophyte is mine. If I start doing a ton of post to post, you put up hair, skin, and nails, you put up thermophyte, you put up cleanse, I'm going to lose it. I will just like shut down. My system will crash. I couldn't keep up with that much stuff, especially with talking to so many people. So yeah, just the thermophyte is what I do. What was another question?
So walk us through the system. So you get up your interactive post, people start commenting. What is your system for keeping track of everything, how are you closing your customers and things like that?
Okay, so when I first start a host or a giveaway post, like I said, I make it interactive, so a ton of people are on there. And then I will go through, say it's fresh and don't have a lot of people that's posted before, say I'm brand new, I will send them all a message after I give it an hour. I will like all their comments as they're commenting if I can, if I'm not out and about with my family. But in an hour, I will sit down and do a bulk, so I'm not like every 5 seconds sending somebody a message. After I send them a message like, I don't know, hey, thanks so much for entering my giveaway. To finalize your entry, would you mind posting a small comment on your wall? And some people don't reply, and that's fine, because how many of us reply in our head all the time? You'll be carrying in groceries and stuff like that. So don't ever get discouraged. I don't ever let it discourage me, and I think that helps as well. But I will send all the, a bulk of people asking them to post for me, and I'll get 6 or 7. And it's always about the thermophyte. So when they tag me, I will save it. And I do it in sections. So like January's host to post, March host to post, whatever. I just categorize it. But then I will, later on, I'll give it a little while, and then go back and look at all those host to post and message everybody that has commented, obviously, like, hey, thanks so much. I saw you commented on our friend's post that she did for me. Would you be willing to take, I don't know, what is it? I need some product reviewers for my portfolio. Would you want 40% off? Something like that. I don't know the exact wording. And the majority of people are like, sure, what is it? And I tell them, I'll send them my first message. This is where it comes into play, follow-up. I will send them the first message, and then I will give it a little while, and if they've read it, I'll say, is that something you would be interested in? Or if I didn't check up, if I didn't have time, I will message back later, and I'll say, hey girl, did you get a chance to look over what I sent you, or do you have any questions? I would love to help you and help you get started. And normally they'll write me back. I think follow-up has been my biggest, the thing that helps me get all the customers, because it's not on the initial conversation, it's always follow-ups. For example, I had a girl, Jessica, she had messaged me that she was like, yeah, I'm interested, send it over. I sent over the info, and she read it, didn't respond. She was probably busy doing something like we all are. I followed back up with her a few hours later. I was like, hey girls, did you get a chance to look at my stuff or look over the stuff I sent you? Is that something you're interested in? And she was like, oh yeah, absolutely. Let's get started. I want to sign up now. Here's how do I sign up? I was like, oh girl, I can put the order in for you, or if you want, I can send you my link. And she was like, oh, well, I don't have my card info with me, but I'd like for you to do it. Can I text you in the morning? I was like, sure. Well, 3 days went by. She never messaged me. So I followed up, hey girl, just following up from our last conversation. Is that something you're still wanting to get ordered? Yada, yada. And so she's like, oh yeah, absolutely. Sorry, my days off have been crazy. And so I think just following up with people, not thinking that they're avoiding you. I mean, I wouldn't bug them if they don't answer you back after like 2 or 3 messages. I wouldn't keep on. But if they've been answering you back every time you followed up, then I would keep following up with them. So that has been key for me.
Let me interject a quick question. So just because it came to me, so I'm wondering if other people have the same question. With signing this many customers and in this many conversations, how did you remember to check in with Jessica 3 days later? Do you keep a list, or what does that look like for you?
No, I'm the worst person to keep a list. I really should. But what I do is say either like that every day or every few days, if I've not been in like more conversations, I will go back for a whole week's worth of messages, and I will look for like my key wording. And if I see it, I will click on it to see if they read it or, whatever, just because I know what I've wrote, of course. So it keys in on it, and I will message them back or see if they've even checked it yet. So I just always go back through all my messages. And when I'm trying to push at the end of the month, I will either go back to all my host to post and individually click on every single person's name to see if I've missed somebody. And I will tell you, I miss so many people. Even though I go back through my messages, you kind of overlook people. So individually going back through all those people have helped me get 10, 20, even 30. I mean, probably 10 or 20 extra customers just by doing that.
I love these numbers that you throw around. Just like 10 or 20 extra customers. Like, seriously, you guys, she's not exaggerating. It's absolutely mind-blowing. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I just love it. And it's, you just know you're going to be successful. There's this confidence about you that is rare. And I didn't tell you I was going to ask this, but where do you think that comes from? That confidence of just like, I'm going to do it.
Ooh, you didn't prepare me for this one. I don't know. I think because it hasn't always been this way, especially at first when I wasn't getting into so many conversations. But I think now that I just get in so many conversations because of the host to post, that people are going to buy it. Like, people buy it. So if that person won't, then I'm going to hurry up and move on to the next and get more host to post up because people are going to buy it.
That's the key. That's the key right there. And I want you guys to hear that. And if this is even the one thing you take away tonight, it's a big thing. She is doing the work, and she's doing so much work that she's confident because she knows that she's in enough conversations. Ashley knows she's in enough conversations that there are going to be those that are going to say yes. What happens to us is we get in desperation mode when we're not in enough conversations. When we're not working our business enough, we're not getting enough hosts to post up, we're not in enough conversations, we get desperate. And so that no means too much. It weighs too heavily on us because we don't have a line of other people to say yes. Ashley has a steady stream of conversations going. So if you say no, that's okay. There's another one right behind you. And if you say no, that's okay. There's 20 more right behind you. So if you're sitting here and you're going, I don't have that confidence that people are going to say yes to me, Ashley just said it. You're just not talking to enough people. If you talk to more people, you'll get it. Isn't that good, Katie? So good. I love that. Okay. The next question. I promise I'll stay to the script now. You did great though. I love it.
Thank you.
I love it. Okay. So here's something that gets me so excited about you and your team as well. So you're a new team. You know, you were distributor level in January, and now you're a diamond going for double diamond team. So you've grown very quickly. What would you tell someone sitting on here with a new team? Maybe just a couple people under them. Maybe they don't even have their first distributor yet. How do you lead your team to promote? How do you get your team excited? And your girls are amazing, by the way.
They are.
The girls that you bring in and the girls in your team of boss babes, they're all enrolling and they have excitement and they're pumped. And that's a culture that you've created as a young leader. So what tips or advice would you give to somebody with a new team of like, this is how I get my team pumped and this is how we're all promoting together?
So I just tried, so we all get in this business because we're broke, or maybe we're not broke, but we're like we don't have the life we want. So you all join to make money. We don't join to just hang out with friends or, whatever. So my biggest thing is I want to get all my girls in and start making money, and then we'll figure out the fluff. Have you ever gotten a new job and they hand you this big stack of stuff and they're like, here, this is all the stuff you need to know. And you're like, this is 500 papers. I can't know all this. So you weed through this stuff to find out what you need to know for that moment, and then you learn the others. So when I bring them in, I get them tagged in your video. I get them tagged in the sample post, and then I tell them, okay, let's do your sample post, get familiar with the Connect app. I'm not telling you to go in there and watch all the videos, but they are good, just peek around at them. Get familiar with your eSuite, log in, and then as soon as you're ready, either tomorrow or the next day, I want to send you 2 videos to get you start doing host to post. Because if you can do host to post and you start bringing in those customers, then we can figure out things like the 6 list, the dream board, what you need to post about in your stories. People, they're all like, well, what do I do about these samples, these coffee brews? And I'm not saying that you shouldn't sell them, because if you need the cash back, I completely understand. But I tell my girls, I don't know, never sold it. I'm not sure. You can sell them if you want, you can use them, but let's just focus on one thing, and let's start getting a giveaway post up and doing some host to post, get you bringing in some money, and then we'll figure all that out together. And then I think another thing is I have an accountability partner. So there's no way I could make it without Jenna. So me and Jenna wake up each morning, whether it's her first or me first, and she's like, what goals do you have today? I don't even know what my goals are, but I need some coffee first, but what are your goals? And so I do the same thing. And then we'll get into our group messenger chat that we have with all of our girls on Facebook. And every time we add a new team member, we add them to that Facebook messenger group. And we always do a countdown. We're like, hey girls, let's get 10 today. So it's friendly competition. Or what are y'all's goals today? How can I help you today? And I feel like making it super easy for my new girls. If they're like, what do I post? I literally will type out their posts for them. I know some of y'all are rolling a lot more than me, but I feel like there's so much with a new business, a new job, that, just helping them out with a few extra posts and typing it out for them just takes that weight off. And they're like, ooh, okay, that's how I answer it. And then we can just move on and get them going. And so that's what I do.
Yeah, you said something to me when we were talking about this. You said, I think there's just too much. There's too much when they're new. We throw all this stuff at them, and they got to feel like they got to learn about this, and they got to learn about that, and they got to learn about 50 plus products. And it's overwhelming. We want to just get them enrolling. And I love when you said that. And here's the thing with what Ashley just described, she's giving them this base. They're going to go out and practice. They're going to go out and get into conversations. They're going to have a good, solid post that they're going to get comments on. The rest, they'll build on their own. As they get that confidence, and I've seen this happen with all of your girls, as they get that confidence and they start enrolling, well then, hey, I'm ready to learn about hair, skin, nails. I'm ready to learn about the collagen. Maybe that's something that attracts me or that I'm interested in, but keeping it simple in the very beginning. And if you're on this Zoom right now and you're newer, because I know we've had so many new people join us, maybe go to your enroller and say, hey, will you help me pick one product that I can just become an expert in? And, will you help me do that? And so maybe you've been feeling overwhelmed. It's never too late to scale back and simplify things. Never too late. I'm simplifying things all the time. So I love that. Okay. This is the final question that I have. And if any of you guys have questions for Ashley, please ask them in the chat, and then I will ask them to her if we have some time. Okay, so if someone told you they haven't been where they want to be with their business, but they're ready for more, what would you tell them they've got to start doing immediately, tonight, tomorrow?
I would say, I would grow your network, first thing. I wrote this down. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. So grow your network. Be very specific with your time. If time is very limited. Say you work 5 days a week, you have a couple kids, you got your husband, you only have a very limited amount of time. Don't waste it on making cute posts. Just go get in a conversation somewhere. No matter what it is, just go start talking to somebody, because that's the only way you're going to make money. It's not going to be the cute posts you post. I've only sold one thing from my Instagram post about the before and afters. One thing. The rest of all of my other customers have come from conversation. So grow your network. Be ready to sacrifice. I was on vacation with my mom. We just moved out here. My mom is more important to me than anybody else. And so she came to visit us in Texas, and we were with her for 9 days. Well, I would spend the majority of my time with them all day, but first thing in the morning, or when they were wanting to go to the hot tub, I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I need to get these customers. We've done all these activities today. I'm just going to spend an hour or two. Even though I wanted to go get in that hot tub, you just have to make sacrifices. And I promise it's so worth it. So that's my advice.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, let's do just a couple questions just because it's only been about half an hour. Yes. Leah, I love what you just said. The more conversations you have, the less scary it is. Practice makes perfect. With anything, it's simple. We learned this in kindergarten? Practice makes perfect. The more conversations you're in, the better you're going to be. So it really is just about chasing conversations. I always say, you got to look less at how many posts you're getting up in a day and more at how many people did you talk to that day. Yeah. You guys might see my page, and sometimes you're like, where's Claire? She hasn't posted today. I might have not posted today, but I've probably talked to 20 people that day. I'm always in conversations. That's what continues to propel my business forward always. Okay. So we had a couple little questions. One, what does your self-development look like? What are you reading? What are you listening to? What does that look like for you?
Jenna. I know that sounds so bad, but I will tell you guys, even at these moments, even though I'm doing so good and going so fast, there are days I will voice memo her and I'm like crying. I'm like, I can't do this. I give up. Sorry. Bye, girl. And she'll be like, quit. Okay, just stop. There's peaks and valleys, and I will watch some devotionals on YouTube, but nothing specific. I'm just gonna be honest, I don't read books because I don't have time and I'm not a book reader. But Jenna, and then if I'm just really needing something pump me up, I'll just watch some motivational things that I Google on YouTube, just short 4 or 5 minute videos.
And a key with you, Ashley, is that you always ask for help when you need it. And that is something very important. Even in what she shared about her relationship with Jenna, she opens her mouth. When she's maybe starting to feel a negative mindset, or when she's maybe starting to feel set back, she opens her mouth. She goes to Jenna. There have been so many times that she's come to me and we have a conversation. But having that person that's there for you is huge in your business, absolutely huge. And I love that. I love that you said that, because I think there's nothing wrong with saying my self-development is my accountability partner. It's somebody that's building me up, somebody that's catching me when I fall. And I just think that's so powerful. Make sure that you guys have an openness in your business and you have somebody that you can go to. Yeah. Okay. So Kelly had a question. She said, sounds like amazing teamwork, which yes, it is. Have you enrolled friends, strangers, and how did you find them if you didn't know them before?
Okay. So I've done a few, host a post on Instagram. So I've gotten a couple, I think, from there. I've actually only signed up one friend, and I think she's on here, but she just got started this past week. She has never done anything like this. She wasn't interested really in anything like this, but because of all this crisis, and I hope she doesn't mind me sharing. I know she doesn't, because we've been best friends forever, but the day she found out she was pregnant is also the day she got laid off. She's pregnant with her second baby, and so she was like, what do you do? Okay, because I need some money. And so that's how I got started with my best friend. But other people, I guess it's just a lot of them are actually customers. After a month, I will say, hey girl, how's the product going? And they'll say, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, hey, I have a quick question. Have you ever thought about doing, this? And if they say, yes or sure. Well, I've never thought about it, but what's it entail? I will send them a voice memo. And I haven't always had the most confidence with signing distributors, but I was like, okay, Ashley, you got to do something. So I went and watched some distributor training videos, and it always kept saying, just send voice memos. And I'm telling you, everybody that I've gotten in good conversations with here in the last month that I've done voice memos with, they've all signed up. They've all signed up.
You've signed quite a few distributors this month. So with her saying, I haven't always been confident signing distributors, well, homegirl went and signed a lot of distributors this month because I told her what a cab was, what a diamond bonus was. So she's like, okay, I'll do that. I love that. You know what she just said? It's job security. Okay. This whole Zoom right now, I hope you guys are hearing this. Everything that Ashley's sharing with you, this is security for the future of her business. So she's constantly host-to-posting. She's constantly getting into new networks. She's always in conversations with new people. She's enrolling those new people as customers, 100 since January. Oh, well over 100 now, since January. And a month into them ordering, she's offering the business to them, signing them as distributors. They're signing their network as customers. So on and on and on it goes. And hey, we have residual income that's building and building and building. And 12 months from now, you're going to see Ashley walking as a top income earner because she doesn't stop working and she keeps it going, and her business is continuing to explode because she's found a way that works. So how do you, let me ask one more question and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Let me ask one more question. So, for the people out there, because I know there's a lot of them that are saying, well, how do you keep getting host-to-post out? Haven't you had the same people host-to-post for you over and over again? If you're only host-to-posting for one product, are you giving those people the same host-to-post to put up over and over again? Like, how are you constantly getting new people to post for you and into new networks?
So I grow my network. I'm not telling y'all to go out and add 400 people, but I think the biggest thing that has helped me is also doing interacting posts that have nothing to do with the business. Just getting people on your page and seeing that every time they turn around isn't like something in their face about the business. There was one going around about how quarantined are you, 1 through 4, and like 1 not so much to like 4 being like straight lockdown. And it was just something fun. I didn't ask anybody to do a giveaway post or a host post for me. It was simply just fun. And I do that all the time. And I think it's just like funny. And I try to post funny stuff just because that's like my personality. But just getting people on my page that have nothing to do with the business, not even just pictures of me, just interacting, and that just brings more people. So when I do post a giveaway, it's more people commenting, more people seeing my stuff. So yeah. And real quick, every day I do make this a point. People that have birthdays, like on Facebook, I always go and tell everybody happy birthday, because even if it's somebody new and I don't even know who they are, I'm like, hey girl, happy birthday. Never talked to them before. I'm not messaging them in their inbox. I'm not trying to I just want them to see my name. That way later on when they see a post, it keys them in. And so I think just having that little extra interaction will work.
Yes, I love that. That was a Lindsay Volker tip right there too. And not that you got it from Lindsay Volker, but that's Lindsay Volker. That's always been her magic is, Lindsay, I hope you don't mind me like shouting you out right now, but Lindsay would always put up like a sarcastic post in the morning or just a funny post in the morning and just boom, get all this interaction on her page, and it would roll her out for the rest of the day for the posts that she would put up. And, Lindsay's a mass enroller. What she does works. And so I love hearing that tip. Success leaves clues. And so when you hear people that are really successful right now, like Ashley, say something that's really successful that Lindsay said, who's also crazy successful, that's when you got to perk your ears up and say, oh, maybe I should start doing that. It seems like it works. Oh, I love this so much. Ashley, thank you so much for giving us your time and your tips. And I'm just so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you're on my team and you've just brought so much life and energy, and you just have great instincts for this business. And so I appreciate you sharing all of that with us. Is there anything final that you want to leave us with?
Let me see. I wrote so much stuff down, but now that I'm looking at it, it just looks like a blur of like words. But thank y'all so much for having me. I really do appreciate it, even though my nerves are like off the wall. And I didn't even say half the stuff I wanted to write or that I wrote down and been preparing since like, I don't know, a couple days now. I'm like, oh, this sounds good. I'm going to say this, but I didn't. It's fine. It's fine. I think just, oh, I don't know. Just get to work, stay in conversations. Just know that you've got to sacrifice a little bit and don't give up. Because if you give up, it's a guarantee it's not going to happen for you. So even if it's one customer a day, it's one more than you had yesterday. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Ashley. This was so good. So good. I know I'm taking away so much. Guys, I do want to say one thing before we end. If you have a question for Ashley based on something you learned tonight, you're watching the recording, you're on here right now, you have a question for her based on something you learned tonight, please leave it in the thread in Freedom Legacy of the Zoom. Please don't privately message Ashley because she's got enough messages going on anyway with her business. So don't reach out to her privately, just ask on the page, or you can ask me and I can ask her, just because I know that we're all like, oh my gosh, you just taught us so much. So thank you guys for being on. Thank you, Ashley, for sharing. And I'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Thank you.